I'ma go, I'ma go, I'ma go hard. I'ma go better than so we don't do no false pretend. We just better than the rest of them. We always win.
Gervonta's new trainer, Kenny Ellis, has asserted that they will face off against Shakur Stevenson after beating Frank Martin. He said this in response to the underdog Frank Martin's claims of victory via knockout.
Acts up, essentially Frank says he'll knock him out. You think that's a crazy mindset as a fighter to go after Tank instead of maybe trying to,
However he bring it, if he lay back or if he come with the pressure, we got to answer for every single thing he do. Everything he do, I dare him to try anything.
When asked critical questions like whether they are ducking Shakur Stevenson, or isn't the fight with Frank too soon, he absolutely denied it. According to him, Frank Martin sits among the top 3 fighters of his category. This fight has been in the pipeline for the last 18 months. Frank asked for it, and we approved it. After this, we'll see the others. About Frank's old sparring session with Tank, he chilled out saying, "No worry about the sparring." Similarly, Tank's coach, Calvin Ford, responded to Frank's claims this way. He's supposed to say that like y'all heard my interview, I want Frank to do what he is supposed to do. Cause I know it's gonna make my guy do what he is supposed to do. And that's what it's all about, that night. When Frank's lack of experience was questioned, he said that Frank was no longer immature. He has crept through the cracks, and his potential is highly underestimated. Gervonta himself considered Frank to be an easy match and wanted to fight Shakur Stevenson next. When asked why he wants to fight Shakur, he replied coldly with no hesitation, because he talks much. He got angry at Shakur's allegations of ducking him and said that he would be ready after this fight.
Gervonta Tank Davis, let's make the fight happen, man. I'm tired of tweeting, I'm tired of talking about it. Stop ducking me and let's make the fight happen, man. Come on.
With every passing day, the hype is skyrocketing for Gervonta Tank Davis vs Frank the Ghost Martin. Michael Benson has just posted the special WBC Freedom Belt, which will be given to the winner. He said, "The WBC has now revealed this year's special Freedom Belt, which will be given to the Gervonta Davis vs Frank Martin winner on June 15th. Made to commemorate Juneteenth, also known as the Freedom Day, a holiday celebrating the emancipation of people who were enslaved in the USA. However, the belt, which was designed to pay tribute to all men and women who were freed from slavery, is also under heat." Former champion Andre Berto questioned, "Are they going to pay sanctioning fees for it?" The answer is no. Tank reposted this tweet and commented, "I'm not paying shit," but he deleted the tweet immediately. For their remarks, the WBC president Mauricio Sulaiman took a dig at both. About Tank's statement, he said that he was sad to hear that. To Andre Berto, he replied, "Dear champion, I am extremely disappointed about your misleading and offensive comment. You have always been treated with respect and absolute support as WBC champion. No, the WBC doesn't charge anything. This is a homage commemorating the victory over discrimination." Another big news is that MGM is commemorating its 100th night in championship boxing. On June 15th, MGM Arena's Centurion Night will be filled with the nostalgia of previous boxing events. The hall is filled with posters of the upcoming Tank Martin fight and souvenirs of all the previous bouts. Since this match is also set between 2 undefeated fighters, the craze is nothing less than Tyson Usyk. Will Frank beat the odds, or will Tank continue his victory backflips? Let's hear from the pro fighters. Ryan Garcia, who has personally trained alongside Frank, thinks that Frank has no chance against Tank. In one press conference, he bragged that he can bet $1 million against Frank. On the other hand, his father and boxing coach Henry Garcia is not quite sure. He said, "I think the one that hits solid first, well, might take the lead. They both have a good chance, being honest, because I've seen Frank spar." Davin Haney, like his previous opponent, is also imagining Tank winning this bout. He mentioned that it would be a very difficult feat for the Ghost to take down Gervonta Davis. Despite his fighting abilities, he would succumb to this defeat because of his lack of experience at this stage.
You think Tank gets past Frank? Just kind of confidently? Just no.
I think that I think that Tank beats him. I mean, we haven't seen Frank Martin at the highest level, the elite level. Not saying that he's not elite, but we just haven't seen it. Do I think he can go in there and lay down? No. I think he gonna go in there, he gonna try to get his respect, and he gonna fight back. But I just think that Tank is, has the experience, has the skills, and will be victorious. But will it be easy? I can't say. But do I think that what's he gonna go? Frank Martin gonna go in there and show that he is a contender? Yes.
While everything is going Tank's way, American pro Errol Spence Jr. was bold enough to predict Frank's victory. Questioning the Tank's undefeated career, he commented, "I see him, Frank, getting his hands raised. I feel like he's the most skilled and talented fighter that Tank ever fought." He envisioned that this fight wouldn't be of Tank's usual style. He won't be taking off the first 2 or 3 rounds avoiding Frank and then hoping for a knockout in the 8th or 10th round, 0-20.
I see him getting his hand raised. I mean, I feel like he's the most skilled, talented fighter that Tank ever fought. Like, it's one of those he can't take those early rounds off and feel like he's gonna come in the 7th, 8th round and hope for a knockout. I feel like Frank gonna dominate him first through 12th round and win a fight. I mean, Tank gonna put up a fight. You know, he's a great fighter, but I feel like Frank definitely gonna take it. I feel like he's the best fighter he fought. He gonna see the speed, he gonna see the strength, he gonna see the power that Frank brings to the table on fight night.
He also mentioned the biggest challenges Tank's going to face in this fight. He gonna see speed, see the strength and power that Frank's bring to the table. On his video, Tank laughed and reposted, "Get you money, champ." Clearly, it is obvious that Frank is an underdog in this fight, but Ryan Garcia's statement did hurt him. Listening to Ryan's comments, Frank also didn't hold back. In a fiery outburst, he declared this about his gym mate's shocking switch of loyalty. "I don't care what he says. I wouldn't talk down on him." Or like he went from all Frank in his first press conference to, "I'm gonna bet $1 million against him. Like, this shit's fake to me." He said that things like these are good for him, as they have forced him to make his friends' circle close and put his concentration on the game. His last post on X also shares his feeling. "Ain't no friends in this shit. This shit's all fake." However, he winds up the beef saying he's waiting for Garcia to put his $1 million against him. In this fight, Frank Martin has vowed to dampen the spirits of those who underestimate him. In response to Tank's remarks against Frank about his ring IQ and inexperience on the big stage, Frank stated, "These are bloody games. This is what they want me to think." About the knockout statement both fighters made earlier, he said,
Stand by that.
Yeah, I mean, if it presented so, yeah, like Tank can be knocked out. Like, he ain't exempt from getting knocked out. So if he get in there and act up, he gonna run into something.
Leonard Ellerby of Mayweather Promotions has once again affirmed that Frank Martin is not at Tank's level. The 4 rounds they sparred with each other have nothing to do with the showdown at MGM. Upon his previous associate's triumphant march, he said, "Tank's going to get every one of these guys. Tell me, didn't he get Esau Cruz? Didn't he get Ryan Garcia? I'm telling you, he's going to get Frank Martin on the night of the 15th. Ellerby states that Martin is a phenomenal fighter, but Tank is just on another level. When asked if Frank would survive all 12 rounds against Davis, Ellerby said that it's very unlikely that Frank would see 12 rounds.
And you're not going to hear me say anything to try to demean him in any kind of way. He's a very good fighter. He's just not on Tank Davis level. That's all that is.
Does Tank stop him second half of the fight kind of thing? Or
Tank, he will not see 12 rounds. He will not see 12 rounds. He will not see 12 rounds.
Boxing pundit and YouTuber Showbiz the Adult has warned people to understand the odds before betting on Gervonta Davis.
I'm going to drop a bomb on y'all. I probably put about $30 on Frank Martin to beat Tank Davis. Put down $30 to win about $600. While everybody was happy about Gervonta Tank Davis looking shredded wheat or whatever he was looking like, I was disappointed. Looks pretty tiny, doesn't he? How is he going to rehydrate come fight night if he's genuinely 135 for 2 damn months? I still got my money on Tank though. Money, I don't, but I do think he wins. It's kind of like Devin the American Dream Haney. Devin the American Dream Haney is at minus 850 or some shit against Ryan Garcia. That means you have to bet $850 to win $100. At that point, just go to work. Minus 850, you ain't getting to the bag. I'll put my bag on Devin. Watch me get to the bag. You ain't getting the shit unless you're gonna put $1 million on Devin.
As you see, he has also marked Tank Davis as his favorite. Earlier, he explained why he would choose Gervonta Davis over any other lightweight of today. He admired his old school attitude and criticized other boxers' routines.
Let me tell you why Tank is doing it great. Tank is fighting closer to his natural weight, which is why he doesn't have to get on dietary supplements like them, which is why he feels healthy and strong every fight, which is why his eyes aren't sunken in on the scale. He is doing it more old school. When you look at Floyd was fighting closer to his walk-around weight. That's why Floyd has so much stamina and he was so much healthier than everybody else. He did it old school. Old school is the best way. Everybody with this new thing of being huge and shrinking down and then rehydrating back, y'all putting up shitty performances. Look at Sugar Ray Leonard versus Duran 1. Look at Randy Turpin versus Sugar Ray Robinson 1. Look at the busyness of those fights. Weight draining yourself and doing all these things, you're going to look like Devin Haney did against Ryan Garcia.
Amidst everyone predicting Tank's victory, people are still not sparing him on his alleged involvement in the rehydration clause. He has been bullied in the past for taking advantage of this. WBA abolished it recently. It means that in their upcoming fights, the weight of both fighters before the fight couldn't exceed the day of weigh-in. This clause frustrated Tank, who replied, "Why is everybody mad? We have to weigh in the same weight and come into the fight at the same weight. What the f*** is the problem?" Lucky for him, this bout is under WBC, where this clause won't be applied in his upcoming fight, and both fighters will have a 12-pound WBC hydration limit. In current videos, Tank is looking more ripped and shredded than ever. It was his way of dealing with the possible case of hydration clause removal. Sources have also said that he is working more on his uppercuts and hooks to counter his taller challenger.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Take deep breath when you walk. Take deep breath. Right.
To Frank's dismay, three-time national champion Yoel Cooper also thinks Frank got this fight early. He should have climbed up this ladder slowly and boxed with fighters that matched him. About the result, he predicted,
I think Frank gonna give him a little fight, but I don't think Frank, I feel like he took this fight a little too early, you feel me?
Sports commentator Okoye has also voted for Tank Davis. He predicted that this could be a very exciting fight as both fighters are southpaws. He also added, Frank can only win if he hurts Frank in the first 2-3 rounds while himself being fresh.
I think, to me, Frank Martin is a guy that I don't think is quite ready for what Tank is going to give him. Athletically, you know, he's there, and the fact that he's a southpaw, I think is important because that gives him angles that maybe he can get off a little bit better than other people could.
Robert Garcia has become some sort of an anomaly in the boxing world since he favored Frank over Tank Davis. He said that Frank is a good fighter, and Tank's gonna be the most talented and most difficult one he faces. On the other hand, he criticized Gervonta Davis for not fighting against bigger names.
Get those big names in front of him. You know, I haven't heard him try to make a fight with Loma, with Shakur, with, you know, any of the top guys, even at 140, because he has fought.
He also mocked Tank by referring to him as a good businessman who's doing what's best for him. Kenny Sims, the Mayweather gym guy who sparred with both fighters, has also predicted his winner.
I think he wins. That's all I would say.
Yeah.
I think he wins.
Give him more insight because you know, like then we could draw from it.
Furthermore, he added in this interview, he thinks the Tank will eventually pull it off. He believes Frank is a legit fighter, but Tank will get him. Zab Judah has pointed out Frank's lack of experience in the biggest arenas of Vegas, where the lights dazzle and roaring crowds stun the feet.
Frank looking big as shit.
Nah, Frank gonna bring it, but I just think that, you know, feet work. Okay, well, here's one thing
He mentioned Tank's decisive advantage in footwork over his opponent. Frank is not really, good with his feet like that. I shouldn't say that. I should say his feet are not as sharp as Tank. He mentioned that Tank could do sharp movements like pivots and sidesteps much faster than Frank, which will help him stay away from Frank's reach and land a big left. Not only this, boxing legends are also predicting the possible round of knockouts. Jaron Ennis strongly thinks that it would be a great fight, as both fighters have plenty of skills. When asked about his prediction in which the fight would end, he responded, I think Tank's gonna get him in 7-9. No, in 7-10. Rapper Gilly Dawkid will be sitting in the first row during this bout. After his recent promotional video with both fighters, he expected a classy fight. When asked for a prediction, at as high as he always is, he answered, they are going to tear the f*** up when they get up on the stage.
I think, I gotta go off of skill. I think Tank is a better skilled fighter. So I'm gonna go with Tank. Nice.
And also, since everyone is speaking low of him, what should Frank Martin do to outshine Tank Davis? Boxing coach Virgil Hunter has proposed a plan for Frank's victory he guided. Try not to get caught. Don't take any foolish chance. I saw Gervonta with a fighter of mine. He's quick from a standstill, and he can cover a great distance. In one step, he can leave his feet and hurt you, so you have to be wary of when he attacks. Also, he mentioned Tank's small frame becomes his biggest plus in the fight. About this, he shared, he attacks from nowhere. He uses his size to take advantage. He makes you fight his height, and he is very athletic and a strong-rooted man. Mexican puncher Leo Santa Cruz has also expressed Martin's chances of victory. He advised him to be aware of Tank's punches, which are the most brutal among lightweights. He said, Martin is a great fighter, He boxes really good. If he could really take Tank's punches, I give him a chance. Like sports pundit Okoye, he also thinks Martin will be punching more, and the Tank will wait for a loophole. When asked what advice would you give Martin for winning, he said,
Martin, what's the best advice you could give Martin going up against Tank?
You know, throw punches, move, don't stay there, wait for that punch. If he could do that, he got it.
Alright guys, these were the predictions. Who knows what happens in the ring? Since both fighters are undefeated, one thing is for sure. Somebody's O has to go. What are your thoughts about this fight? Who's winning? Tell us in the comments. And please subscribe and share with us in your boxing community. That'll help us create more videos like this.